Cavs, where we check in with Shams and what's going on in and around the NBA. First up, Kevin Durant. He's missed the last 3 games for the Suns. Shams, what is the status of KD here?
Malika, I'm told there is optimism that he will return to the lineup on Friday against the Jazz or Sunday against Portland. He's missed the last week and a half with that ankle sprain. They need him back. 11-2 with him, 1-9 without Kevin Durant in the lineup.
Bless him there.
Why don't we stay in the West here, Shams? Kawhi Leonard, he returned to practice yesterday. So how are the Clippers approaching his return to the court?
Encouraging progress. He's come a long way. I'm told his return is not imminent. He still has to get to full contact practices. And just for an example, it took Joel Embiid, Chris Middleton, 2 other stars, a week and a half of full 5-on-5 contact before playing. Kawhi Leonard is not at that stage yet.
All right, so a little more time here before Kawhi, but we could be getting close. You know, he did get the braids here. He does that before he's going to play.
Yeah,
the Raptors, they lost Scottie Barnes Monday night to a right ankle injury. Shams, how long could Toronto be without Barnes here?
Brutal. Several weeks out for Scottie Barnes with that ankle sprain. He already missed a significant chunk of the season earlier with an orbital fracture, but he's going to be missing more time. He's one of 4 players in the NBA averaging 20 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. The others, Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, and LeBron James.
Yeah, it's just been a rough calendar year injury-wise here for Scottie Barnes, unfortunately. Max Strus, he hasn't played this season for the Cavs. When is Cleveland getting their 5th starter?
Max Strus will make his season debut on Friday against the Wizards, and this is a big return for the number 1 seed Cleveland Cavaliers, the best regular season team in the NBA so far. He was a starter in all 70 games played last season. The shooting, the depth, the durability over the course of his career. He was also second behind Donovan Mitchell last season, plus-minus on the Cavs.
Perk, you see, against the Wizards.
Yeah, sweet. Come back against a cupcake team. Get your legs up under you.
Now, Shams, you made some serious waves last week when you reported that the Warriors, they were in the market to acquire a star. That move would, of course, help maximize Steph Curry, but Golden State does have a number of limitations in making any big moves here. Let's just take a look real quick at the Warriors trade outlook. This is all according to Bobby. They have some attractive potential pieces. Wiggins, maybe, Kuminga, Podziemski. They have 3 tradable firsts, 4 seconds. Mr. Marks, help us make sense of this. What is the market here for a Warriors move? What would that look like?
Well, it's all about hitting singles. The one name that's not on there is DeAnthony Melton, who's injured. He's out for the year. And I think the team to keep an eye on for Golden State is certainly the Brooklyn Nets. And when we look at the Brooklyn, who could be that player? Malika, I'm looking at Dennis Schroeder. He's in the last year of his contract. He's on an expiring $13 million contract. He's having a career year. When you look at it from Melton, this is easy. This isn't easy. We don't even have to bring out the calculator for this. $13 million for $12.8 million. This works. As you said, they have 4 second-round picks. I think the hard thing for Golden State is getting rid of one of those firsts that they have available. This summer, they could have up to 5 first-round picks that they can make in a trade. So Schroeder for Melton, I think for Golden State, that makes the most sense instead of maybe chasing that big star.
Bobby, I thought you was going to do something that was going to make me dance
I did it yesterday, Perk. I did it yesterday.
I need something powerful, and I love Dennis Schroeder, but I'm thinking about Golden State, Shams. You know, we tossed around a lot of names, you know, since you broke that news. LeBron James. I'd said maybe we talked about Zion Williamson, Jimmy Butler, right? They need a guy that's going to move the needle. I'm also thinking about now Jonathan Kuminga. He's in the starting lineup. Is it in the starting lineup because they want to see what he could do or to raise his value up?
They're about to find out. They couldn't get a contract extension done, but Jonathan Kuminga's been waiting for this opportunity. There's people in that organization, players included, that have been waiting for Jonathan Kuminga to finally get this opportunity from Steve Kerr. So he has it, but they have between now and the trade deadline. That's going to shape their future. What will they see out of Jonathan Kuminga? Is there a star that becomes available? Is it a guy like Jimmy Butler, who is, he has the Warriors on his preferred destinations list? So we'll see between now and the trade deadline. A lot of it depends on the performances.
And Jimmy Butler, he did speak with reporters today, and when he was asked about his future in Miami, he said, quote, who knows? So really interesting insight.
Things are really interesting, especially when you talk about Jonathan Kuminga, because Draymond Green, it seems like things are full circle. He's like, I'm cool to go to the bench if that means Jonathan Kuminga and us, we keep winning. But you guys know who Draymond's also friends with? LeBron James. I'm curious because in this calendar year, y'all, we did hear, and it got kind of cute between the Lakers and the Warriors, the potential of those two playing together, Steph and LeBron. Is that something that is feasible? Because we've seen those rumblings start to hit, Bobby.
When we're talking about the salary cap and contracts, I think anything can happen here. I think Obviously, the biggest thing would be LeBron James has a no-trade clause. So if things go off the tracks when we get to February and LeBron James looks at this roster and they're in the play-in or maybe they're in the outside of the play-in, would he waive that no-trade clause and ask to be traded? I think that's something we approach when we get to February here. Listen, they've got the contract. Certainly James here at $48.7 million. He's got the no-trade clause. They've got the contracts. They've got Andrew Wiggins. They've got that Melton expiring contract. They've got a ton of expiring contracts. Gary Payton, certainly Kevon Looney, Jonathan Kuminga. They can get the money to match if we want to talk about just from an economic standpoint. But at the end of the day, the ball would be in LeBron James's court here.
We know that, and I'm glad because it all ties together,
How,
right?
Perk?
Because, you know, Bobby and our boy Wendy, they come out and they say, oh, well, Bron, he's not playing. He just wants the Lakers to improve their roster.
Yeah.
Duh, right? But if they don't improve the roster, that's why I mentioned yesterday that, hey, you know what? If LeBron James do get to the point where he say, you know what, I want to explore trade options, guess what? The one guy that stopped it last year, his agent, Rich Paul, my sources tell me he won't get in the way of it this year.
Oh, your sources. Okay, this is when I need to check in with Shams and his sources. Let's just base in reality here. The most realistic outlook for the Golden State Warriors, it doesn't seem to be with LeBron James, but check me if I'm wrong.
I think they're exploring a lot of other options out there in the marketplace. The Nets have a few players. They have Dennis Schroeder, Cam Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith. Do you want to amplify your wing depth? Do you want to go get a guard like Dennis Schroeder? I think that's on their horizon. They're going to be in the marketplace for that playmaker scorer.
Okay.
Now, whether that's going to be a star, a player like a Jimmy Butler, or will it be a guy like Dennis Schroeder? I think that's what we're going to see between now and that deadline.
Well, that's what their Warriors are going to have to contend with in the future, in the next couple of months, before that February trade deadline.
Try to boast at what I look like. Think I'm gonna try to wear, I pull up all brains. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. The city, yeah, I'm here,